Namaste, everyone, and welcome to Round Glass Living. I'm Lama Yeshe, and I'm grateful to be sharing this meditation with you live from India. So, today we're going to explore the powerful emotion of sadness. We all feel sad at one time or another, and it's important not to overindulge it, as it can increase your heart rate, cause racing thoughts, or trigger that fight or flight response. But before we get into the meditation, I have a question for you. What are some sources of sadness in your life? So please share your answers in the chat and I'll read them out in a moment. So, in today's meditation, we'll look at the sadness and feel whatever it brings. Those feelings can often serve as a teacher for your personal development. So, you can learn and let go of that sadness. So, some of the sources of sadness that people have put in the chat, there's family issues, loss of loved ones, health, unresolved issues, loneliness. Yeah, these are all good ones, and I'm sure there are many, many more that you can think about. So, if you have any questions or any questions and doubts come up in your mind during this practice, then pop them in the chat and I'll try my best to answer them at the end of the session. So, sadness is an emotion like every other emotion. And if we try to suppress it, or if we try to distract ourselves from it, or we get all tangled up in it, or pretend we don't even have that emotion, the emotion is not going to go away. Emotions are our teachers. They come to tell us, hey, something is happening here. You need to be paying attention to that. And so when sadness comes, of course, we try not to face up to it. But by doing that, we're actually making the process a lot longer. We're keeping that sadness there longer than we need to. So, in this meditation practice, we're going to look at sadness. So, because we're looking at something that has made you sad, if you start to feel overwhelmed during this practice, then please just stop, open your eyes, and then you can watch it again on demand. So, let's get ready for the meditation. Put your back straight and drop those shoulders so you're nice and comfortable. Put your feet flat on the ground and shoulder length apart so you're nice and stable. Your hands, just put them in your lap, somewhere where they're going to be comfortable for you. And then lightly close your eyes or find a spot on the floor in front of you and just half close your eyes and just do a soft focus there. So get yourself nice and comfortable now. And to begin with, I want you to focus your awareness on your breath and just become aware of the breath flowing in and flowing out. Don't change your breath here. Just allow it to flow naturally. If you're breathing too quickly, by focusing on the breath, it's going to naturally slow it down for you. And while you're watching the breath flowing in and out, thoughts will definitely appear in your mind. It's okay. When that happens, just gently come back to watching the breath again. And remember, relax. So let's watch our breath for another 30 seconds. So it's normal for us to experience sadness from time to time. And it doesn't mean that there is anything wrong with us. And it certainly doesn't mean there's anything wrong with feeling sad. If we're feeling sad, it's okay. Just allow that feeling to be there. Don't fight against it. When we don't feel our emotions in all of their beauty and all of their glory, they can become stuck in our mind and in our bodies. And what they're going to do is just scream for attention until we honor them by sitting with them, accepting them, and acknowledging them. And sadness can actually be a productive emotion when you're willing to accept, acknowledge, and work with them. So, what I want you to do now is to bring a memory of sadness into your mind. So, just think of one time in your life when you felt very sad. And remember, if it gets too much, please stop the practice and come back later and when you're feeling a little stronger. But for now, think of a time in your life when you felt sad. And allow yourself to go deep into the experience of sadness, but not to upset you, but for the sake of learning and growing. So just sit with that memory of sadness a moment and try to feel that emotion fully. Notice your thought process at the moment and notice any sensations or tension in your body. So, in this moment, I want you to trust and know that by feeling and looking at this sadness, it's not going to harm you. Just allow it to serve as a teacher for your personal development. So, continue to think about whatever is causing the sadness in your life and allow yourself to feel whatever that sadness brings. Experience the emotional reaction to your sadness. Maybe it brings tears to your eyes. Maybe you want to sob out loud. Maybe it's making you feel uncomfortable as you remember the sad times in your life. But remember, that sadness is there because you haven't moved on. You haven't accepted, acknowledged, and learnt the lesson from the sadness. So just allow those memories of these sad times to flood your mind. But tell yourself it's completely okay to feel sad. So allow yourself to feel this sad emotion without judgment, without criticism. Feel it with acceptance. So now become curious about what this sadness teaches you about what's going on. So, for example, if you feel sad because you've fallen out with your partner, that sadness teaches you that this person is extremely important to you. Maybe you're sad because you've lost your job. In that instance, the sadness is teaching you that that job meant a lot to you. It was more than just work. So I want you to allow yourself to be curious and explore how you want things to be instead. So instead of feeling sad, what do you want? What do you desire? So let yourself feel your desire fully until you can generate a feeling of satisfaction. Just visualize the opposite to your sadness. So if the person has left you and made you sad, then just think about the opposite. If you've lost your job, then think about the opposite. Think about what this sadness is telling you, is teaching you. So visualize the opposite to your sadness and try to see it in as much detail as possible. So, what is your sadness teaching you? Just think about that a moment. Even though it's such a powerful emotion, it's there to tell us something. And if we can learn that lesson, it means we can let it go and move on. So, what is your sadness teaching you? Just sit for a few seconds now thinking about that. The more you do this practice, you begin to feel appreciation towards your sadness, appreciating it for what it can teach you, and appreciating the chance to use this feeling to be more productive, to grow, to learn, to be a better person. So now I want you to return back to your breath. And I don't want to leave you with a sense of sadness. So as you're watching your breath flowing in and flowing out, I want you to just think of one thing that you're grateful for right at this moment. Just bring that into the front of your mind so the gratitude can overpower that sense of sadness. So hopefully next time when you visit these sad memories, you have a new appreciation for that time in your life. And remember, everyone feels sadness at one time and another, and you're not different. And so don't turn away from your sadness. Turn and face it, accept it, acknowledge it, and find out what it is trying to teach you. So before we finish this practice, I want you to reflect back over it. Did you manage to bring those sad memories into your mind? And did you manage to see what that sadness was trying to teach you? And could you visualize the opposite of that sadness? Just reflect on those points a moment. And now just very slowly start to open your eyes. So I hope that this practice hasn't upset you. The point wasn't to upset you. The point was to help you to learn from the sadness. We have a question here. Doing this practice helped me look at sadness in a different way. Should I do this meditation when I'm feeling sad or anytime? Yeah, I mean, we can do this with any emotion, but whenever you're feeling sad, whenever that sadness comes up in you, and you have the opportunity to do the meditation, then do that. If you don't, then at the end of the day, just think back over that sadness. The more you do the practice, the more that you'll understand that that sadness is just an emotion. It's come to tell us something. So, what do we need to learn? What is the lesson it's trying to teach us? So, thank you for sharing this time with me today. I hope your heart is feeling a bit lighter. And I'll be back again next week for my next live session. But in the meantime, continue to explore meditation with us on roundglass.com or on the Roundglass Living app. So, thank you for joining me. Namaste. We are holistic well-being.